All right, welcome to your Business External Exam Masterclass. Today, we are going to crack the code on how you can absolutely nail this exam. And you want to know our secret weapon? We're using the examiner's own words to figure out exactly what they want.
Okay, so you've put in the hours, right? You know your business theory backwards and forwards. But how do you actually turn all that knowledge into an A when you're sitting in that exam hall? That's the big question, and it's exactly what we're tackling today.
So where did we get this information? Well, we went straight to the source. We've dug through 3 full years, 2022, 2023, and 2024, of the official QCAA examiner reports. We've pulled out every piece of direct feedback, all the key advice, and pointed out the common traps students fall into. This isn't guesswork. This is literally what the examiners are telling you to do.
So here's our game plan. First, we're cracking the exam code. Then, we'll show you how to deconstruct every question to grab every possible mark. After that, it's the A-grade stuff, mastering analysis and synthesis. Then, we'll cover the art of evaluation. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with your final checklist for success.
Okay, let's dive right in. Section 1, cracking the exam code. You've got to understand the battlefield before you can even think about winning the war. And here's the first huge insight from all 3 reports. The exam is incredibly consistent. It's always going to focus on Unit 4, Topic 2, which is the transformation of a business. And this part is crucial. You will always get an unseen case study. So what does that really mean? It means you can't just memorize your notes. You absolutely have to be ready to apply what you know to a brand new scenario on the spot.
All right. We know the battlefield, now let's talk tactics. Section 2 is all about deconstructing the questions. This is so important because it's where tons of easy marks are just left behind. We are not going to let that happen to you.
And look, you don't have to take my word for it. This exact quote shows up in the reports from both 2022 and 2024. The examiners are practically shouting this from the rooftops. The message is clear. Students are not answering every single part of the question. It's such a simple mistake, but it costs crucial marks.
So how do you avoid that trap? Just follow this simple 3-step process. Every single time. 1. Identify the cognition. That's the command word like explain or analyze. What are they actually asking you to do? 2. Isolate every instructional part. Literally break the question down into chunks. And 3. Use the stimulus. For every single one of those chunks, you have to back it up with evidence from the case study. It's a system, and it works. Okay, now we're getting into the heavy hitters. Section 3, mastering analysis and synthesis. I'm not kidding when I say this is what separates a good answer from a great one. It's a difference between a B and an A. Let's get crystal clear on what these two things mean. Think of analysis like taking an engine apart. You're identifying all the pieces, right? You're selecting data and classifying it, maybe putting it into a SWOT analysis. And the reports show that students are generally pretty good at this part. But synthesis is about putting that engine back together and explaining how it actually works. It's about finding the relationships and trends between the pieces to create a brand new insight. That is the A-grade skill. So let's put this to the test. Imagine you've just done a flawless SWOT analysis for the case study. It's perfect. What is the absolute next thing the examiner is looking for? Exactly. You have to interpret what it all means. The SWOT table itself isn't the final answer. It's just the starting point, the raw material. The real marks come when you use that material to identify the relationships, the patterns, and the trends, to show you get what it all means for the business. And to do this really well, you've got to be super precise with your words. So let's define our terms. In the context of this exam, what exactly is a trend? And what's a relationship? It's pretty simple. A trend is just the general direction something is heading over time, like declining market share. A relationship, on the other hand, is the connection between different things, like the link between a lack of innovation and that falling market share. Using these words correctly is a huge signal to the examiner that you really know your stuff. Okay, here's a big one. All 3 reports, 2022, 2023, and 2024, they all say the same thing. The entire point of synthesis, of finding all those trends and relationships, is to create what? What's the missing piece here? Meaning. Those are the magic words, and this is the whole point. You're not just repeating data from your analysis. You are creating a fresh insight. You're telling the business owner what all this data means for their future.
That is synthesis. So once you've created that new meaning, you're ready for the final piece of the puzzle, evaluation. This is where you step up, put on your business consultant hat, and make a justified judgment call. Now, you can't just make this judgment based on a gut feeling. It has to be grounded in established business criteria. So, quick pop quiz. The 2023 report mentions 4 key criteria. Can you name them? They are competitiveness, stakeholder satisfaction, efficiency, and effectiveness. You gotta know those.
Here's another common tripwire the reports point out: students mixing up a decision and a recommendation. Let's clear this up right now. A decision is the what. It's the outcome of your evaluation. The recommendation is the what next. It's the concrete, actionable step the business should take. They are 2 separate but crucial parts of your answer. This table is pure gold. It shows you exactly what separates the top marks from an average score. For evaluation, a low-scoring answer just names 1 criterion, but a high-scoring one, you're using at least 2 criteria, and you're linking them directly to the stimulus. Same goes for the next step. A weak response gives a simple decision. A top response provides a thoroughly justified decision that flows right into a clear, actionable recommendation. See the difference?
Okay, we've covered a ton of ground. For our final section, let's pull all of this together into your actionable checklist. This is your blueprint for an A. All right, screenshot this, memorize it, whatever you need to do. This is the blueprint. First, deconstruct every single question and always use the stimulus. Next, the big one, go beyond analysis to synthesis. Find that new meaning by identifying relationships, patterns, and trends. Then for your evaluation, justify it with at least 2 criteria and make sure your decision logically leads to an actionable recommendation. And one last pro tip, write your extended response like a full business report, not just an essay. So there you have it. That's the distilled wisdom from 3 years of examiner reports. The blueprint is officially in your hands. The only question left is, how are you going to use it to build your A?